Hi, everyone. I'm Christina William, a 32-year-old marketing executive juggling a career, motherhood, and the ongoing challenge of trying to win over my mother-in-law, Pamela. Spoiler alert, it's not going great. My daughter, Maria, just turned 5, and she's the absolute light of my life. You'd think that a successful career and a beautiful, happy child would count for something. But to Pamela, it's as though I'm failing some invisible test. Michael could have married someone who prioritized family over work, she declared during our last Sunday dinner, jabbing at the roast I'd spent hours perfecting. Michael, my peacekeeping husband, quickly jumped in. Mom, Christina works hard for our family. And yet, he always found a way to change the subject, leaving me to absorb Pamela's icy glare while Rebecca, my sister-in-law, nodded enthusiastically beside her, as if auditioning for a role as Pamela's shadow. Christina's doing a wonderful job balancing everything, my father-in-law, Thomas, said in my defense. Bless him, he's the lone voice of support in this family minefield. It wasn't just the dinners. It was the constant microaggressions. Take last month's family gathering. Rebecca hovered by the table I had meticulously set up and announced with a sugary smile. Oh, Christina, your setup is interesting. Let me fix it the way Mom prefers. She didn't even wait for a response before rearranging everything. But Thomas intervened, his voice steady. Actually, I asked Christina to do it this way. It reminds me of how my mother used to do it. The look on Rebecca's face, priceless. Yet, she didn't stop there. Later, she suggested, Mom's just traditional Christina. Maybe if you did things her way, you'd get along better. I kept my tone calm. Thanks, Rebecca, but we all have our own ways of showing love to family. But behind the calm exterior, I'd started keeping receipts, text messages, photos, and even security footage. Call me paranoid, but something told me I needed to protect myself. Like the time Pamela claimed I'd forgotten Maria's doctor's appointment. I pulled up her text, which clearly showed she'd given me the wrong date. Actually, Pamela, I said at dinner, holding up my phone, you told me Thursday. Would you like to see it? Her face went pale, but the satisfaction was fleeting. Despite all the drama, I kept hosting, kept trying. Maybe I was too stubborn to give up. But as Thanksgiving approached, I didn't realize I was nearing my breaking point. It started innocently enough. Rebecca offered to help with dinner. Let me help, Christina. We should bond more as sisters. I hesitated but decided to give her the benefit of the doubt. Sure, Rebecca. You can handle the sides while I finish the turkey. While I ran upstairs to help Maria find her stuffed rabbit, Rebecca stayed behind in the kitchen. When I returned, everything seemed fine. But during dinner, chaos erupted. Pamela spat out her green bean casserole dramatically. Are you trying to poison us? She gasped. Uncle Jim choked on the potatoes, guzzling water. I can't believe this, Pamela announced. My son married a complete failure. Mortified, I couldn't figure out what had gone wrong. I had tasted everything. It was perfect. Later that night, I checked the kitchen security footage. What I saw floored me. Rebecca, dumping heaping spoonfuls of salt into every dish while I was upstairs. But the craziest part, my friend Lisa had been video chatting with her mom while helping me prep earlier. The next day, she sent me her recording. In the background, clear as day, Rebecca was caught sabotaging the food. It didn't end there. At work the following week, I uncovered discrepancies in a new client's accounts. Rebecca's company. Thousands of dollars were unaccounted for, and guess who managed those accounts? To top it off, my cousin Amy called. Christina, you need to hear this. Aunt Pamela's been telling everyone. The weight of years of betrayal and manipulation came crashing down on me as I sat at my desk, staring at the evidence in front of me. My blood boiled as I pieced it all together. The lies, the deceit, the games Pamela and Rebecca had been playing with our entire family. This wasn't just about a ruined Thanksgiving dinner. It was a tangled web of destruction that had festered for years. She's been spreading lies about all of us, Amy had said earlier on the phone, her voice trembling. Grandma thinks Uncle Steve has a gambling problem because of Pamela. Steve's wife is convinced he's cheating. And Rebecca? She's been enabling all of it. Christina, how long has this been going on? Years, I replied, the fury building. It was also clear now. Every snide comment, every rumor, every wedge driven between us, it all led back to them. I stared at my laptop, the security footage playing on one screen, the incriminating company accounts open on another. For years, I'd taken the high road, biting my tongue, trying to keep the peace. And for what? To let them keep walking all over me and everyone I cared about. Not anymore. Amy, I said firmly, it's time for a family meeting. A real one, without Pamela and Rebecca. The tension was palpable as the family gathered in my living room. I connected my laptop to the TV, standing before them with years of suppressed anger and newfound resolve. Before I play this, I began, my voice steady. I want you to know this isn't about revenge. It's about truth. The footage rolled. There was Rebecca, caught red-handed, sabotaging the Thanksgiving dishes. Lisa's voice from her video chat provided an undeniable timestamp. Gasps filled the room. That evil little. Emmy hissed under her breath. Michael's face turned crimson. I can't believe my own sister wailed. There's more, I said, pulling out a folder thick with receipts, texts, photos, and recordings. Pamela has been playing all of us against each other. Emmy, remember that affair rumor? It started with her. Here's the proof. Thomas, my father-in-law, stood up, his hands trembling. All these years, I've been supporting them, defending them. Did you know Pamela gambled away her entire inheritance? She's been living off my retirement savings, claiming it was invested in real estate. Dad, Michael began, his voice breaking. No, son, it's time you knew the truth. Your mother has been manipulating this family for decades. And Rebecca, she's just following in her footsteps. I took a deep breath. One last thing. At work, I discovered Rebecca's been embezzling from her company. I've already reported it anonymously. The room erupted. Decades of lies and manipulation spilled out as everyone began sharing their stories. It was as if the floodgates had opened and the truth couldn't be stopped. Then my phone buzzed. Pamela. I put her on speaker. How dare you hold a family meeting without us? She hissed. Rebecca told me everything. You're just jealous of her success. Michael grabbed the phone. Success? You mean the money she stole from her company? Pamela sputtered. That's a lie. Rebecca would never. Like she would never sabotage Christina's Thanksgiving dinner? Mom, we have it all on video. All of it. Pamela's voice cracked. You don't understand. Everything I've done was for this family. No, Mom, Michael said coldly. Everything you've done was for yourself. And it's over. The fallout was swift and merciless. The next day, Rebecca's company launched a full investigation. Her colleagues avoided her like the plague, and her job was gone within days. Pamela's bridge club uninvited her after hearing about her gossiping and manipulation. Thomas called his bank and confirmed his worst fears. The real estate investments were a lie. Every penny had gone to slot machines and blackjack tables. I've already contacted a divorce lawyer, Thomas told me. I should have done this years ago. Christina, I'm sorry I let them hurt you for so long. That night, Michael held me close. I've been such a coward, he whispered, always trying to keep the peace instead of standing up for what's right. Never again. I watched Maria sleeping peacefully in her bed, finally free from her grandmother's manipulation and her aunt's jealousy. For the first time in years, I felt like I could breathe. Then my phone buzzed again, a text from Rebecca. We need to talk. Please, I can explain everything. I stared at it for a long moment before hitting block. Some bridges aren't meant to be rebuilt. 3 months later, the headlines hit the local paper. Marketing executive charged in $200,000 embezzlement scheme. Rebecca's mugshot was plastered on the front page. Not only had her company fired her, but they also pressed charges. 200 grand. I always knew she'd been stealing. The amount still shocked me. $200,000 stolen. Rebecca's greed had known no bounds. Over coffee, Amy filled me in on the aftermath. Did you hear? Her mortgage application got denied. She's moving to Arizona. Apparently, she can't even afford to rent around here anymore. Everyone knows what she did. Meanwhile, Thomas uncovered yet another betrayal. Pamela had secretly mortgaged their house to cover her gambling debts. The divorce papers landed on her prized designer handbag like a bomb. She lost everything. She blew 20 years of savings at the MGM, Thomas told me during Sunday dinner, our new tradition, just the real family. And she didn't stop there. She kept borrowing more. Pamela ended up in a tiny one-bedroom apartment above the dollar store. Last I heard, she was working the register at Walmart. Her so-called friends, the ones she'd schemed so hard to impress, dropped her the moment the truth came out. Then, as if on cue, my phone started buzzing. Messages from Rebecca. Christina, please. I'm your sister-in-law. Family forgives. Please delete the report. I've changed, I promise. Just give me another chance. Block. Life, meanwhile, moved on beautifully. A promotion landed in my lap. Senior VP of Marketing. Michael and I celebrated by taking Maria to Disney World. Watching her face light up on Space Mountain, I knew I'd done the right thing. One day, Maria asked me a question that gave me pause. Mommy, why don't we see Grandma Pamela anymore? I knelt down to her level. Sometimes, sweetheart, people who say they love you actually hurt you, and it's okay to keep those people out of your life. She nodded, wise beyond her years. Like when Jenny was mean to me at school, and you said I didn't have to be her friend anymore. Exactly like that, baby. Our holidays are peaceful now. No more walking on eggshells, no more checking security cameras. Thomas visits often, and he's even found happiness with Helen, a warm-hearted woman who knows how to love without keeping score. Amy ran into Rebecca at a gas station off I-95 last month. She's working as a telemarketer now, Amy said, shaking her head. It's her third job this year. Oh, and Pamela. Her manager at Walmart wrote her up for being rude to customers. Old habits die hard, I guess. Last night, as we watched Maria playing in the backyard, Michael wrapped his arms around me. You know what's funny, he said. Mom always said you weren't good enough for this family. Turns out you were too good. I smiled, thinking of the last message I sent before blocking Pamela and Rebecca for good. I don't keep toxic people in my life anymore. Some might call it karma. I call it consequences. Either way, I'm just grateful my daughter will grow up knowing her worth, understanding that love doesn't come with strings attached, and realizing that sometimes the best revenge is simply living well. Now I want to hear from you. What would you do if you caught someone sabotaging your reputation while pretending to be family? Would you expose them immediately or wait to gather more proof? And here's another tough one. At what point does keeping the peace turn into enabling toxic behavior? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I respond to every comment and love hearing your stories. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications for more real-life tales about overcoming toxicity and coming out stronger. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Remember, the greatest act of self-love is knowing when to walk away.